FlashStart is a DNS security provider, and the protection takes place before the connection to the compromised, to the poison website takes place. FlashStart is the first line of defense. Let me say that FlashStart can stop, I believe, a lot of internet threats and can enforce network policies. FlashStart obviously is just one actor in the cybersecurity world, but we also need to use a firewall, an IPS, an IDS, etc. But I believe thanks to the DNS filtering capability, we can protect more than the 85% of the internet dangers. But it's important also to have a firewall, to have an antivirus. Okay, so FlashStart honestly is not the only point of defense for networks. Today, the focus will be over the mobility use case. Okay, it's very important to focus on mobility and to understand that by the installation of the endpoint module, we have application for every operating system: Windows, Chrome OS, Mac OS, iOS, and Android. You can really bring the protection everywhere. Okay, in the office branch, in during business travels, public Wi-Fi, which are mainly compromised, and bring your own device. So FlashStart DNS security works into the cloud, and thanks to the connections provided by the agent, the same level of protection working into the safe network environment can be brought everywhere out of the company. Some activities coming from our internal roadmap. The topics are much more, but let me just summarize into these 6 steps, some innovation. In January, in Q1 2026, we released our very first FlashStart 2026 platform, and during Q2, during this quarter, we have released many features. For example, the cloud box for large companies, dynamic IP, DOH, DOT, and today we are going to release the endpoint section. Starting from next quarter, so Q3, a very new and promising AI innovation lab will start working to scale up security at artificial intelligence level. We will also try to innovate between Q3 and Q4 by the addition of an XDR client inside FlashStart. So the protection will be much more intensive than just using the DNS filtering module. Next year, we will start boosting up the AI, and we will make a deep usage of the passive DNS to better and to faster detect malwares all over the world. And then in Q2, we will re-engineer and redesign totally by scratch the customer area. Some other topics, and then we will immediately move to the live presentation. Why today we are thinking to add a primary sort of XDR? Because point number one, we want to integrate DNS protection, which is our core business, because FlashStart's core business is DNS protection, but we want to add more options. We also want to increase visibility on endpoint and offer to the to network admins the visibility around software vulnerabilities, software patching, and brute force attack over endpoint. We have just one question in the chat. Yes, the answer is yes. The whole recording will take place and will be sent out, I believe, between this evening and tomorrow morning, thanks to our great staff. So We are ready to go live. Is there anyone willing to ask any question? Is there any question before going to the live presentation? Otherwise, I will start sharing my screen. So everything has been clear up to now? It's okay? Okay, thanks. So I can move on and start my presentation. I would just like to understand if you can properly see my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? Can I just have a feedback around the visibility of my screen, please? Okay, yes, Stephen, thanks a lot. So this is the FlashStart main dashboard. Everything is, of course, multi-tenant. I can browse any customer of mine within the same dashboard. I can also change language, switch to dark mode, integrate 2FA, etc. And into this homepage, I can immediately get some data. For example, I can get total DNS request, blocked threads, allowed DNS request, and not existing request. Just below the first line, I can see some interesting recaps. I can change, I can customize my page, so I can change the report shown in this first page. I want to see immediately the top block application, for example, the most allowed request, the next request percentages, and the traffic by time slots. It's a simulation, okay? We just started ingesting the report last night, and some other preview report. Obviously, if I jump inside the analytic reports, I can browse since 6 months of DNS history. I can take a better range, and then I can switch into multiple replies. For example, DNS request percentages. I can see the combination between allowed, blocked, and unresolved DNS request. I can also check the most allowed request, CDN, software, Apple, Google, etc. But I can also descend down to a deeper level. For example, if I click on CDNs, I can check the most requested CDNs. Obviously, everything is at DNS request level. I can jump into the most blocked malware, domain for sales, malicious activity, etc. And I can also jump into the most blocked requests, social networks, if I decide to block social network or not. Facebook, DOH proxy, obviously FlashStart pays a lot of attention to block DNS leaks and DNS circumnavigation, and so on. And then we have a lot of reports we can export into PDF, and we can also filter reports by network, by category, or if you prefer, by policy. We can play with the combined filters, etc. And thanks to our APIs, we can also get a report and proceed to a custom integration inside our system integrators or MSP dashboard. Let me just come back to the protection. So I've just created for you a standard policy, but I can create as many policy as I want. FlashStart consists in a first template, so malware only protection, malware and unwanted contents. For example, we can block both malwares and, for example, pornography or other stuff. Or we can start from scratch. If I decided to start from scratch, let me just place a name right here, English webinar policy. I can share my policy with my tenant. So if I am working as an MSP and I wanna reuse the same policy for my subtenants, I can just toggle the shared policy button. I will click on it, and then I will go inside, I will jump inside, and I will customize, I will improve my policy protection from scratch. The first page shows the malware and threats. This is our official threat intelligence. I can enable all in one click. Then I have other threat intelligence. These ones come from our community. For example, I can block phishing community. This is interesting. The Fermi Foundation is a government Italian-based non-profit foundation. They offer a very good DGA protection, and I will also select the Vietnamese threat intelligence. I can also take benefit of the newly registered domain in order to block the very new domains, which are by the 95% mostly phishing sites. Then I will jump into the second page in the top level menu, and I can block anonymous proxy and translator proxy. Probably, as you know, if you put, for example, youporn.com into the Google translator and click on translate, you can see some nasty pictures coming from the translator cache. It's better into a safe environment to also block the translators. Parental control, I can block, for example, pornography, alcohol, child abuse, gambling community list, weapons, etc. Then I have some other categorizations such as IT services. Obviously, I will not block CDNs or work sites. I can block something around leisure, for example, lingerie, I don't know, radio, dating, etc. I can block advertising. The system tries to improve the user experience by blocking ADV, banners, etc. And right here, I can access the national block list and the foundation. If I'm inside the United Kingdom, I can block the CTIRU. If I'm in Spain, I will block the intellectual property blacklist coming from the Spanish Ministry of Culture, the MISID, Costa Rica, Colombia, etc. I can decide. The application blocking module helps you to block single application, both in browsers and mobiles, at DNS level. Point number one, I can decide to block every dating application working at DNS level. And then, this is very new, I would like to personally thank a close friend of mine, Ian Sampson, which is online. He's a great guy coming from the United States, Secure 64 partner, and they suggested to add this AI provider application module, and especially if you are going to work with schools, they will ask you to block the AI engines, because during the classworks, the students try to override the teachers by using AI, so it's present. We can block crypto mining, and that's interesting. We can also block VPNs at DNS level. So we can block, for example, NordVPN by dropping down the first global node list. These VPNs have been tested to be blocked by FlashStart, but there are many other working only with direct IP address, and that's why you also need to combine a network firewall to enforce the defense layer. Geo-blocking, another interesting one. We can block DNS resolution towards dangerous country. For example, in Europe, right now, it's suggested to block traffic toward Russia. So you can block every DNS resolution landing at Russian internet IP space. If you want to increase network security, probably the geo-blocking module should help you. Exceptions, this is the list of exceptions. We can create both whitelist group and blacklist group, personal blacklist and personal whitelist, and we can reuse these exception group into every protection policy. The safe search module, I'm gonna allow everything, I'm gonna toggle everything because I would like to block bad results coming from the search the search engines. For example, with Google, if I enter, I don't know, lady nude nasty pictures, Google will cordially refuse to display dirty results and dirty image previews. Clearly blocking is interesting because I can block, for example, every domain resolution ending with Russia, but I can also block every legal pornography site, so everything ending with .xxx. The advanced module shows some interesting features such as DNS leak. It's very important to block third-party DOH and DOT. Otherwise, users will be able to circumnavigate filters. We can also block resolution towards malicious IP address. Of course, it's important we hourly maintain a complete global malicious IP, and we can block on request DNS resolution towards this DNS resolution directions. Now, let me jump immediately into today's topic, the endpoint, but before that, let me just explain that FlashStart can work into both network environment and endpoint environment. So today, we can decide to add our static IP, our static CIDR, or our static range, and we can start DNS protection. We can also combine different policy, and we can also decide to assign different DNS couples. So we can immediately start multi-policy profile DNS security, okay? We can combine different policies coming from the same source IP, source public IP, and we can combine with different DNS couples. There are many webinars and I believe a lot of documentation right here. But today, just after mentioning the CloudBox environment, the CloudBox was one of our top topic coming from the previous webinar in May. The CloudBox is a DNS proxy. You can download the image, the ISO, the RAID image for Hyper-V, for VMware, and for Proxmox, and you can create the CloudBox connection. The CloudBox will improve the latency response time on recursion. Now, today, client shield endpoint installation. Today, we are going to roll out everything, and okay, the endpoint service will be globally rolled out by tomorrow. The banner is not yes, by tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow everything will be online. 1st of July is fine. How does it work? It's very simple. Sorry about that. So today you can download the endpoint application for every operating system: Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Chrome OS, and Android. The security agent will be installed by entering the security key. Okay, there is one different security key for every protection policy. To the right top of the screen, I can select the policy on which I'm gonna roll out the client shield environment. I will select English webinar policy. It's the policy I have configured together with you some minutes ago. And this key is my security key. And I can go directly into the fast installation, or I can scan the QR code from my device to speed up the rollout. Let me just download the Windows software I've already installed, and as soon as you install the Windows client, this one, the system requests the security key. I can copy the security key, or I can simply send the security key through a secure channel to my users. I'm gonna stick, and the system already detaches the computer name, but I can also decide webinar workstation, decide to change it. Okay, the last version is 2200. We are going to release at the beginning of September a major version, including the most recent technology and a sort of pre-XDR improvement. Then the installation can also be automated using, for example, software MDMs such as Ninja or Enable, but I can also install this through the Windows group policy. Okay, the Internet Protection Client for Windows in this case, it's a Microsoft software package, an MSI, and it's very easy to install, and in those cases the security key will be passed using a switch, so slash key 2-point security key. I'm gonna register my device, registration successfully, and the system takes about 1 or 2 minutes to start the protection. In some seconds or minute, you should see the system ready to filter. Okay, now the protection is on. The system also offer some data. If you are going to request a support section, please every time mention the secure client ID. The application can upgrade automatically, so you don't need to take care about the upgrade. And if the user tries to disable protection, the system requests a PIN code. Where is it? If I jump to the second page, the settings page, the system show for number 1, disable protection pin. I need to enter this pin, but I can also regenerate as many times as I want. You can just okay, it's still a bit, my computer is a bit, I can regenerate the pin code, and I can share the pin with users if I need someone to disable protection, and after that I will immediately change. I can also toggle the required pin during installation. I can enable this, and for Windows system we can also prompt the user to enter a pin during installation. Just a very important tip. It's much better to deliver Windows Workstation with unprivileged administrator security profile. Okay, it's much better to not allow the local administrator for users. But if you need to allow the administrator privileges on a Windows machine, you can decide whether or not require the disable pin into the installation. I can also regenerate this. If I go down, I can enable the Office stand-up protection. That's interesting because the stand-up lets lets the endpoint client to stand up to park when they are inside the protected network. Okay, if I'm using FlashStart into my safe network environment, I will probably prefer to automatically disable the client when I'm inside the network. Okay, it's much better. It's much easier, and when my mobile users will start going out, the client will immediately top up. Using the privacy, I can decide whether or not show the association between the Windows user and the DNS request. So by activating show username, it will be possible to track where a specific user goes. In some countries, such as in Italy or in Germany, it's not allowed by default, and you need to send a letter. You need to share information with your workers. But in other countries, for example, the United States of America, it's allowed by default. Okay, decide in combination with your legal consultants. Then I have a third function. This is the DNS forwarding for policy name. In this case, the name is English webinar policy. And I can add a local DNS forwarding. If I have I don't know, my company intranet.local, okay, it's a Windows zone. I can tell to Client Shield to use this primary server, okay? So I can forward this particular zone to a specific DNS server, okay? I can also add the forwarder and I can decide to enable or not, okay? It's possible every time to delete the selection. Now, okay? And if I go to installed agents, I can see my client shield. It's active because protection is active. I can see Francesco Webinar Workstation, technology legal, status, protection active. I can also see the client version and the policy. Working here, I can also change the policy. So I can tell, okay, okay, there's an error, I believe, with the translation. Bear with me. By tomorrow, everything is going to work very well. I can change the policy directly when a protection agent has already been rolled out. And then let me switch to my command prompt. So right here, I am working under protection. If I go to NSLookup, the system will be forced to use localhost. There's a local DNS proxy running on my client machine, and the local DNS proxy will enroute DNS queries to the FlashStart Cloud Anycast network. If I enter google.com, the system proceeds, but if I click on sex.com, the system will reply with the stop page. Why? Because I've already selected to block pornography. If I go to reports and log search, I'm gonna show the query by query report. I can see my navigation. So right here, I can, for example, I can filter by deny. I also have my network, and I can see, for example, sex.com. That's here, pornography, sex.com, pornography has been blocked by matching the English webinar policy. Let me just try another. For example, I want to eat xvideos.com. It's a pornography site, and I want to check if everything has been blocked properly. Refresh log. xvideos.com pornography 9 seconds ago using my client. What does it mean? It means that the report into the new FlashStart 2026 are ingested in real time. Okay, so just after a few seconds, the reports uh, are populated. Okay, so data are every time fresh. Let me just come back to the client. I need to disable protection and I will need to enter the PIN. I don't know if it's working because this system is still a beta, but I can try. So English webinar policy. I believe it shouldn't work because it's a beta, but let me try and okay, anywhere. I'm gonna write down the disable pin. Okay, it doesn't work. I already know because the beta, but by tomorrow, if I enter this pin, the protection will goes down. The FlashStart Internet Protection is a Windows service and a very good news for white label user for system integrators. It's possible to pass the company logo right here, so you'll be able to remove the FlashStart logo and to work with your company logo. Another point I'm gonna show through the webcam, through the web camera. I can also install the application for Android. I'm just searching the application, so it's also possible to deploy application for Android or for any other operating system. The application for Android is right here. And same stuff, the system will ask for an installation a security key. I can change policy and the system will offer another key and I can download with confidence the software for other platform and for other operating system. FlashStart 2026 will soon display the session tracking. Okay, with this module you'll be able to display the protection start and stop session time. It's interesting to understand if a certain user, if a specific user will decide to remove the protection. At that point we will see the Francesco webinar workstation has not been connected since 5 days, 1 week. And in the future, in the near future, we'll also be able to decide whether or not triggering out notification messages if some endpoints will start removing or will start to not connect to the cloud platform for lots of days. Let me just complete my presentation and then I'm ready to answer to your questions in case. The integration API are here. Every installation contains a security key and you can browse, study, display the API documentation. Okay, it's possible to pilot more or less every dashboard function using the API, and I believe everything should be pretty clear. You have example request, the care simulation, etc. It should be very easy. Otherwise, be free to access the guides, to ask for technical support, or if you want, the community area can help you to request more feature. For example, someone asked, I wanna understand better the DNS security validation, or you can report bug. You can also check the complete roadmap, and there's a pretty crowded and pretty discussed section around the third-party integration. We are gonna work from next quarter, tomorrow, July, quarter number 3. We're gonna work firstly to integrate Enable, Kaseya, and Ninja One in order to automate and speed up the integration and the software rollout with third-party MSP management platform. Bandwidth, the AI, okay, the Ask AI feature is pretty nice. For example, I can ask how to block pornography in schools, and I can click on Ask AI, and the system will generate an AI answer by reading for you our complete guide. Okay, enable you. Okay, enable using. Okay, the system also mentioned personal blacklist, whitelist, etc. It's gonna write a lot of stuff, and the AI system also offer some links if you wanna go in deep and read something more right here. It's nice. It's first AI integration in our platform. Okay, now let me stop screen share and